Welcome back to the Grand Solar Minimum channel. Today is Wednesday, August 7th, 2019. Hope everybody's having a great week so far. Let's go over to thegrandsolarminimum.com, where we'll start off with our links and our show. Some beautiful images across the internet today. Good picture of the Milky Way there. Go ahead and start off with some space weather news. Our solar wind speeds are sitting around 469.4 kilometers per second with a density around 2.9. Today, as AR-2745 disappeared, AR-2747 appeared. Apparently, we are going to go ahead and call this a sunspot, and I'll go ahead and show you here in a minute why I say apparently. But right now, this is sunspot number 11. So far for the total of 2019, we've had 145 days without sunspots. And checking in on the TCI, that is the Thermospheric Climate Index, the current reading on that right now is 3.04. And a lot of you that have just recently started following this channel, we started monitoring this when they added it to SPACEWEATHER.com. And we've been hovering around the 2.56 range over the last several days. This can only mean that we are experiencing a slight temperature rise in TCI just because of the recent solar storm that Earth's magnetic field just took on. We had solar wind speeds in excess of 744 kilometers per second. That's 1.6 million miles per hour was our solar wind speeds. Take a look at some of our space weather stats here at thegrandsolarminimum.com. And there's our sun that is blank. Let's go ahead and take a look at this sunspot that we are right now naming AR-2745. Go ahead and get out my handy dandy arrow to kind of help y'all folks follow along. This is the area, and Mari and I were talking about this sunspot as before we went on the show, and she had told me that, you know, a few people were upset about this. I know David Birch didn't really agree with this one either. We've seen a lot stronger get named, so I'd have to agree with you guys. This one's really pushing it, in my opinion. But nevertheless, we are calling it AR-2747 sunspot 11. And again, 145 days without sunspots. Now, looking at this coronal hole that is now Earth facing, NOAA is suggesting that we will see solar wind speed increase, bombard the Earth's magnetic field by August 10th. And when you look around the eastern limb, it's nothing, nada. That is the current look at the face of our Earth. Or I'm sorry, the face of our, right here, the sunspot, head on, Earth on, and then here's your eastern limb. As you can see, there is not a lot of action happening past that -90. Maybe a couple active regions, but very light. Also, monitoring something, possibility in the -180 up here in the top, which if polarity is definitely reversed, you would have to think that this could be another signal from solar cycle 25 up here at the very tippy top here. So keep our eyes on that as we watch AR-2747 likely decay within the next several hours. Taking a look at our TSI for July 29th. 2019 came in at a 1360.734. So TSI staying in the 1360.7 range again for the second time this week as we report on TSI. All right, so let's go ahead and get back to the GrandSolarMinimumNews.com. Wanted to start off the broadcast tonight. Shout out to David Birch, the Starman, and shares this gorgeous picture of these sprites that were captured in Switzerland last night, August 6th. And this photo credit is for Roger Spinner. This is the best image I've ever seen. Severe weather, extreme weather, photo of the day. Indeed. These are considered gigantic jets, very, very large, and that's a lot in the atmosphere to capture at the same time. And here we have an eruption at Asai Mayama volcano in Japan. The alert has now been raised to a 3. And this is over at Watcher.news. The JMA has raised the volcanic alert for Asama Mayama volcano from a 2 to a 3 following an eruption on 1308 UTC on August 7th, 2019. The volcano is located about 87 miles northwest of the capital, Tokyo. This volcano has several major Apillian eruptions, the last 2 of which occurred in the VEI-5 and the VEI-4. The last eruption took place in 2015, was a VEI-1. Ash rising to 14,000 feet above sea level. Again, this is 5,900 feet above the crater. Local authorities said there were no immediate reports of injuries. The JMA said it expects more eruptions capable of affecting nearby communities. Pyroclastic flows are possible within 2.5 miles of the crater. JMA said the activity of the volcano had been progressively increasing due to the first half of June. From June 2nd to the 5th, a plume rose less than 1,300 feet above the crater. So, again, not a major eruption, but, again, more seismic activity coming from Japan. Earthquakes and volcanoes, definitely here recently, have been a bit on the uptick side. Large landslide hits town of Casargo, causing severe material damage in Lombardy, Italy. Italy makes the news twice tonight on our broadcast. A large landslide hit the Italian mountain town of Casargo above Lake Como in northern region of Lombardy after heavily hit region late August 6th. Authorities declared a state of disaster. Officials, according to there, are saying that heavy rain caused the Verone River to burst its banks for the second time this summer, sending a torrent of mud and water through the streets of Casargo. While there were no injuries reported, the event caused damage to cars, homes, buildings, and blocked roads. The mayor of Casargo, Antonio Leonardo Pasquini, said that there were no fatalities, but material damage is severe and called for the government to declare a state of disaster. Go look at some of the footage here from the landslide, the aftermath, the flooding. Again, Italy has not been a stranger to the headlines for landslides, heavy rains, heavy snows, flooding. We've reported out of this region many times this year. Heavy rain, floods, and landslides also affected other parts of Lombardy. Areas where bridges were destroyed. Flooding was also reported in Bergamo province, where emergency services responded around 20 calls, mostly involving vehicles. Winds up to 44 miles per hour and about an inch and 1.06 inches of rain fell in just 20 minutes over South Tyrol city of Bolzano. Authorities said it was the worst storm they'd seen since June of 2008. And for those of you who are new to our channel, ironically, 2008 was 11 years ago during the last solar minimum cycle. So are we starting to see the connections? Hopefully we are. All right, let's move it along. Typhoon Lakima strengthening, heading towards the Ryukyu Islands, Taiwan, Shanghai, and China. And this is the 9th named tropical cyclone of the 2019 typhoon season. Is strengthening on its way towards southern Ryukyu Islands, Japan, northern Taiwan, and Shanghai, China. So the last broadcast we did, we talked about a pretty heavy earthquake in the Japanese area. We led off the broadcast with a volcano eruption, and now we are dealing with a typhoon. Now, it passed well north of the Philippines and didn't directly affect the country. It enhanced the southwest monsoon, which caused heavy rain to the nation and sank 3 boats in the Gomara Strait, killing 31 people and leaving 3 missing. At 900 UTC on August 7th, the center of Typhoon Lakima was located 385 miles south of Okinawa, Japan. We got a 1-2 punch coming here, folks. Its maximum 10-minute sustained winds were 130 kilometers per hour. That's 80 miles per hour, and for you folk here in the U.S. The maximum 1-minute sustained winds were 100 miles per hour, with gusts up to 115 miles per hour. Central pressure was around 955. The storm system is moving north-northwestward at 8.1 miles per hour. Now, according to the JATWC, Lakima will continue on its current northwest track and pass just north of Taiwan near 900 UTC on August 9th before turning more poleward. The favorable conditions will fuel gradual to rapid intensification to peak 145 miles an hour by the time it nears Taiwan. Afterward, increasing vertical shear wind and land interaction will weaken it about 115 miles per hour at 900 UTC on August 10th as it approaches the Chinese coast. Again, here is a remarkable photo of these two particular storms. A very well defined eye there on the front runner storm here. Another dangerous storm, currently Tropical Storm Krosa, is located east of Lakima. Krosa is expected to take a different track and move towards Japan. Although not strong enough as Lakima, Kurosa could approach and make landfall over Japan by August 15th. So we have one storm, Lakima, wreaking havoc on the region on August 10th through the 9th through the 12th. And then we have this other storm here, Krosa, approaching Japan by August 15th. So very busy season so far in the Pacific Ocean as far as typhoons. We have our 9th named storm, and these are just some impressive radar images. GFS, this is what they think is going to happen. Although I disagree with the storm not being, well, it looks like it does significantly weak as it approaches Japan. So there might be some good news as these forecast models will change, and today is the 7th, so we're about 8 days out from the 15th. A lot could happen, a lot could change. These storms can weaken, and wind shear could tear these apart as well. Thanks to Watchers.news once again for their hard work over there and keeping us up to date. And boy, so Japan once again making headlines. Volcanoes, typhoons, and now a heat wave that sends 18,000 people to hospitals and claims 57 lives in 7 days. Heat wave conditions across Japan. The lives now. Look now. All right, I'm gonna stop for a minute. And I'll look more into this, but this is probably a misleading headline as far as heat wave. Now, these folks don't have, I'm positive of this, a lot of these villages and stuff do not have AC units. So I'm not minimizing the temperature in Japan, but it's nothing that you would report as far as, in the triple digits. But these folks aren't used to this kind of weather. More than 1,800 were hospitalized in the capital of Tokyo alone, where temperatures have been stuck above 31 Celsius, which is 87.8 degrees Fahrenheit since July 24th. So, again, for most of us here in the United States, we could do that in our sleep, right? Go inside the house, turn on the AC, stay cool, maybe check out the pool for the day. But again, if these folks aren't used to this kind of weather, they don't have air conditioning units in their homes, this could be a serious problem, especially if you're talking about this kind of heat from the 24th through August 4th, I believe. Yeah. So heat wave, yes. For Japan, yes. Does not mean hottest record on Earth or anything like that. Does not contribute to the fact that people are making these claims that this is the hottest month of July was the hottest month in record. This is just simply stating that for Japan, this is pretty hot. And it's taken effect. Now, again, to have 18,000 people in hospitals and it killed 60 people almost, when you look at the United States with these 3-day, 4-day heat waves, and 6 people had passed away at the last heat wave we had here in the U.S. Obviously, like I said, a lot of us have that convenience to go inside the house and flip on the AC. Same thing over in Europe. Not so much in France. Not everybody has window air conditioners and all that. But again, there is still, I believe, more convenience in Europe and the United States compared to Japan when it comes to when it gets hot out, when the conditions, how they deal with cooling off. Obviously, there is a huge difference on their day-to-day life in Japan compared to how we do things in the West and in Europe. To have this many people sent to the hospital on a heat wave, especially the temperatures that they are. Mari, are you have you caught anything I've been saying just now?
About the heat?
Yeah. Okay. I'm just curious to say if it was fair for me to say what I'm saying as far as Japan not having the conveniences of air-conditioned buildings like we have here in Europe and the United States. Is that a fair statement, or am I?
No.
Yeah, I'm not so sure either. But I'm pretty. But with the number of people that went to the hospital on 87-degree weather, though, you would think that that has to be the issue. But who knows? Maybe I'll look into that and find out for myself. Again, looking at the GFS models, these things tend to change, and very well possibly could. They're talking about at the bottom here these typhoons that are heading, which these storms here will be much welcomed indeed. As far as the rain, hopefully it'll cool things off for them over there. All right, moving right along. Once again, Italy in the news again tonight. This is their second time. 6 underwater volcanoes discovered near Sicily in the Mediterranean Sea. And I believe I'm going to follow Mari's advice on this one here. Scientists have discovered a series of previously unknown volcanoes just off the coast of southwest Sicily, Italy. The 3 northern volcanoes show a tough cone-like morphology, while their most southern... Oh boy. So this is what... Wow. Embarrassing. So embarrassing. Just, yeah, folks, I report this stuff, all right? I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I want to share these headlines and talk about all this really neat stuff, but yeah, I'm not going to sit here and... Listen, these underwater volcanoes in Italy are neat, and we just want to show you this story here. Go ahead and check out the link on our website to get all the details, but I'm not even going to attempt it. I mean, truncated, conical shape. I guess it's just words I'm not used to seeing. I don't know. It's been a really long day, folks. I think all this cosmic ray, look, tough cone-like morphology. Like, where in the hell have we said morphology? The 3 northern volcanoes show a tough cone-like morphology. Wait, the 3, listen now. Say this really fast together. Scientists have discovered a series of previously known unknown volcanoes just off the coast of southwest Sicily, Italy. The 3 northern volcanoes show a tough cone-like morphology, while the 3 most southern edifices have truncated conical shape. I don't know. I feel like Ron Burgundy here. Ages of all newly discovered volcanoes are late quaternary. Quaternary? So I guess what Mari's saying is just
fired.
Hand me a coloring book and a box of crayons is what she's saying back here in the background. But yeah, so check out this article here on Watchers.news. 6 volcanoes. Wow. All right, and on to some serious news here. The flood claims about 531 lives, leaves 650,000 displaced in India. Heavy monsoon rains affecting parts of India since the end of June have claimed 531 lives as of August 6, 2019. I do believe this is a growing tally. 182 people died in Maharashtra state, 130 in Bihar, 93 in Assam, 53 in Gujarat, 34 in Karnataka, 26 in Kerala, and 13 in Rajasthan. More than 655,000 people are displaced across the 1,400 relief camps in Assam, Bihar, Karnataka, Kerala states, DG and Echo reports. According to initial assessments, approximately 36,000 houses have been destroyed in affected states. National authorities deployed 147 national disasters report. Okay.
Another cosmic ray.
I'm telling you, the cosmic rays are bombarding today.
Have like a special effect noise.
Holy goodness. National authorities deployed 147 national disaster response force teams to the affected areas.
Somebody did a super jib by Ukrainians.
I tell you what, if you want to do super chats for crayons, why don't you do a super chat for Hooked on Phonics? I think that might be a little bit better investment, folks. Good grief. Is it break time yet? Tropical storm Whippa claims the lives of 10 more. Are you? You're encouraging them in the chat. That's you know.
I'll edit this out.
No. This is classic. You know, intimate moments with Grand Solar Minimum channel.
Now people are saying I work you too much.
Oh, no, folks. She doesn't watch. Well, probably doesn't work me enough.
I work you too much.
Oh boy. Good grief. So, no, Mari actually does all the work. I get off easy by doing these live shows. I do have a full-time job during the daytime, but however, tonight is just totally inexcusable, so I apologize. Tropical storm Whippa claims 10 lives, leaves 11 missing in Vietnam. This was on August 2nd, 2019, causing floods and landslides. Fortunately, 10 people have lost their lives and left 11 people missing, so that death toll could rise. 91 homes collapsed and 96 others were damaged. Their report, more than 1,000 houses were submerged and over 400 and, well, let's just say 1,100 acres of crops were destroyed. The hardest hit areas, I am not going to butcher that one, but this province had 5 deaths and 9 missing folks, with 5 injured from this. You see the flooding here, common. We've seen it all year long, everywhere and anywhere. Before hitting Vietnam, Whippa caused wind damage and floods in parts of China's Gansu, Henan, and Guangdong. In 24 hours to July 31st, capital Henan province and Haikou recorded 10.8 inches of rain. And need I say less, but obviously the reason why we're seeing all this rain is all the cosmic rays that we have observed in our atmosphere, and it continues to get worse as we continue to travel further into this what seems to be a deep minimum at start. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with a very short GSM climate news update.
Do you like this show? Give us a thumbs up. Want to support us more? Share to your favorite social media platform. Buy a t-shirt or become a Patreon. All links are in the description below.